We're going to do one more difference quotient problem. This time we're going to use a rational function. So we're going to find the difference quotient of x over 2 minus x. So remember, the formula for difference quotient is f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our function f of x equals x over 2 minus x, and we're going to plug in f of x plus h. So f of x plus h here is going to be x plus h, so we'll plug it in for that x in the numerator, over 2 minus x plus h. And we'll put that in parentheses because we'll need to distribute the minus. And then subtract f of x, which is just x over 2 minus x all over h. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is distribute the negative in this first denominator. So that'll give us, so we're going to distribute this negative here and here. So we'll have x plus h over 2 minus x minus h minus x over 2 minus x all over h. Now we need to combine these fractions in the numerator. We need to subtract them. And to combine fractions, we need a common denominator. And our common denominator, sorry, that scrolled up unexpectedly. Our common denominator is going to be 2 minus x minus h times 2 minus x. Okay, so let me kind of write that over here. So common denominator is going to be 2 minus x minus h times 2 minus x. So this first fraction we need to multiply by 2 minus x over 2 minus x. And this second fraction we need to multiply by 2 minus x minus h over 2 minus x minus h. So that first fraction, we're going to have 2 minus x times x plus h, and that will be over our common denominator 2 minus x times 2 minus x minus h. And we can, since we'll have the same denominator, we can combine them into one fraction, so we'll have minus x times 2 minus x minus h. And this whole thing is still over h. Okay, so for a minute we're only going to look at the very top. Okay, so we're going to start by foiling out this expression. So we need to FOIL this. So the first terms will give us 2 times x, 2x. The outside terms will give us 2 times h. The inside terms will give us minus x squared. And the last terms will give us minus xh. Okay, then we need to distribute this minus x to every term here. So doing that, we'll get minus 2x plus x squared plus xh. Okay, then we've got our common denominator 2 minus x times 2 minus x minus h all over h. Now, you're probably thinking this is a complete mess and that we're not getting any better. But remember what I told you, that things that don't have an h in them will cancel out. So let's look at the very top. We have this 2x here, and here we have a minus 2x, so those together make 0. We have a minus x squared, and here's a plus x squared, so those disappear. Okay, so now in our numerator, we have 2h minus xh. Oh, plus xh. Look, that's even better. Even some terms with an h will cancel out. So our top now is only 2h. Much, much, much simpler. Now the bottom here is 2 minus x times 2 minus x minus h all over h. And you can think of that h like h over 1. And what do we do when we divide by fractions? We multiply by the reciprocal. So we're going to leave the top 2h over 2 minus x times 2 minus x minus h. And we're going to multiply by the reciprocal of the bottom. So we're going to multiply by flipping h over 1, which will be 1 over h. Okay, when we do that, look, now our h's, we've got an h up top and h in the bottom, so those cancel out. And we're left with 2 over 2 minus x times 2 minus x minus h. And you can actually leave those exactly like they are. That's our final answer.